Hey everyone and welcome back. Now in today's video, we'll be discussing about the CloudFormation parameters. So let's get started with a simple example use case that can help us understand this specific topic. Now basically CloudFormation parameters allows template to be very flexible depending upon what user actually needs. So let's take an example to understand the need of CloudFormation parameters. So you have written a template that basically creates a EC2 instance and you have uploaded it to the GitHub. Now, if you know that if you want to create a EC2 instance with CloudFormation, one of the parameters that are generally required is the key pair name, because generally if you want to create a EC2 instance, you also have to define the key pair. Otherwise, you will not be able to log into that EC2 instance. Now, if you have uploaded it in a GitHub, now the challenge is that depending upon different environments, every environment will have a different key pair name. So in my AWS account, I will have a key pair name called as Zeal. However, in your AWS account, the key pair name would be different. And in such scenarios, hard coding the key pair name within the template is not a very right solution, because if someone else runs that template, the EC2 instance will be created with the key pair name, which is hard coded. So what you need is you need user to manually specify which key pair he needs while the EC2 instance is created, and that manual specification is done through the help of parameters. So we already had looked into this specific example where CloudFormation allows user to put inputs for various parameters within the template. So if you look into the stack with under the parameters, there are a lot of parameters which are asked, like database name, you have DB password, DB root password, and you also have a key pair name. You also have an instance type. So you can select the exact things that you need for your environment. And if you have these parameters, it really allows template to be very flexible depending upon what user really needs. So let's get started and look into the practical aspect on what parameters look like again. So I'm in my CloudFormation console. Now, one thing that you should always remember is that after your practicals are concerned, just delete the template. Otherwise, you might get some unexpected billing. So anyways, I'll delete it afterwards. However, let's look into how exactly the parameters looks like. So I'll do a create stack. And within the templates, I'll select a single instance sample and I'll select lamb stack. I'll go ahead and click on next. Perfect. And now you see here it is asking me for a lot of things, including DB name, DB password, DB root password. It is also asking me for the instance type as well as key name. Now within the key name, I can select the key name according to my environment. So if your environment have a different key name, you can just select this drop down and select the right key value. So this becomes much more easier than manually hard coding the value within the template. If you hard code the value, then it will not really work in all the environments. So this is the reason why ideally in the CloudFormation template, whenever you are writing the template, make sure you should always have the parameters section where the customization capabilities must be there. So let me click on cancel and let's do a create stack again. I'll select the lamb stack and this time I'll click on view edit template in designer. So I wanted to show you on how exactly parameters looks like within the template. So this is a nice GUI console. So we have already seen that it was asking a lot of things like DB name, DB password and all. So within the template, if you'll see under the parameters section, so you have a section of parameters. Under the parameters section, you have the key name. So this is the name that it is going to ask me. The type is the AWS EC2 key pair. I'm sure you already know what that is. So this is the first parameter. Now you have a second parameter where you have a DB name, where it is asking for basically the name of the database that you want. Now one interesting thing that you can also define is the type. So the DB name, whatever DB name that must be present, it must be of type string. The minimum length should be 1. The maximum length should be 64, and you can also put allowed patterns, like what is the patterns that you want to allow. Do you want to allow a special characters? Do you want to allow alphanumeric? You want to allow numbers? So all of those things you can define along with the parameters set that you have within the CloudFormation template. So this is one thing that you can do, and this is parameters. Now parameter is quite simple thing. If you see, it is not quite complicated, but understanding what CloudFormation parameter is important for the exam. So make sure you just have a high level overview on what the CloudFormation parameters are and where they are required. So this is it about the CloudFormation parameter video. I hope this has been informative for you, and in the next video we will be discussing about the nested templates in CloudFormation. So this is it. I hope this has been informative for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.